Good evening, everyone. Hello, and
Hello, hello.
welcome to your virtual van parade for Friday evening. How have you all been? I don't know where this week went. It went really, really quickly. Hopefully, yours did too, because it's nice to get back to the weekend again, isn't it? And back to our parade. Yay! So, tonight we are finishing off the requests from last weekend. We intended doing a viewers' request weekend, but it kind of had more requests we anticipated. So tonight we're doing finishing off those requests that we couldn't get covered in the last week. We also have another one of Lisa's wonderful quizzes, and then of course do not forget tomorrow night we have the three Muska Hounds as usual. Causing havoc. Causing havoc is exactly what they are going to do. You know what they're like as well as I do. Admit it. Let's get through a few of the text messages before we get our first tune. Eddie Torney, Aaron Chambers, Gertie Yates, Roberta and Eddie Baird. Lisa's watching, Carl Robinson in Liverpool, Karina and Ray McHugh. Aaron Chambers, Mary McKee, Gavin Hazlitt, Margaret Glover in Largs, Ayrshire, Jim Stewart in a blustery Donaghadee. It's blustery here too, I have to say, Jim. Ian Nicholson's watching, Georgie Bickerstaff, Annabelle Kinnear, Denise and Amy in a rainy Coke. Carl Porter's watching, Robert Goldsmith's on the sofa. Oh, nice and comfortable there, Robert. Mark Bacon's watching. Caesar's da is watching. You have jumped over Caesar in my estimations because you used to be in the court. Well, I suppose so did he, but obviously you took him there. Mike Jones is watching in Warrington. Christine Wilkie is watching. Sandra Harkin, Adrian McElvena, Jen Kramer, John Geddes Manchester, Philip Mackey, Billy McHugh signing in from Spain. I suppose your weather's nice, isn't it? Go on, sicking us all. The warm-up act for tomorrow night. Roy says that's definitely what we are. We're just getting these primed for them. Sadie Moorhead wants to know, could you have Campus Lang Britannia playing Highland Cathedral? Not tonight, I'm afraid, because tonight is over requests from
I've been lovely to hear.
Morris is saying hello from a windy cool rain. It is, boy. Hairdo, Glenn Miller, what are you on about, dearest? What are you on? The fact that I maybe ran a brush through my hair for a change. Tim Webb and Ivan Webb are watching. Jackie Mullins watching. Ronnie is watching from Portrush. What alcoholic beverages have you this evening, Ronnie? Gordon Hotchkiss is watching from cold and miserable Manchester. Keith McEnany, Mark Anderson. Oh my goodness, I'm going to have to get through a few more here. Margaret from London, Derry, Sylvia, Norris, Louis Mean, Scott Clark, Alan Finlay, Ian Simpson from Cumber, Mary Robertson, Margaret Glover, William Callahan, Jonathan Courtney in Scotland, Jonah Adams, John Wilkie, Robert James McGricken. Oh my goodness, I can't get through them all. Hi, Paul. How are you doing? I'm only after liking your post where you said you were watching bands. So you might as well join the rest of us here and watch the bands. So let's get on with our first band. Our first band is North Down First Flute, as requested by Carter Campbell. So Carter, I haven't come across your name yet, but I hope you are in this evening and watching. This is them in 2019 playing up in Belfast for the Brian Robinson Parade. So North Down First Flute for Carter Campbell. North Down first flit there. Lovely sunny day, flags fluttering nicely in the breeze. Sure, don't we all love to see that? Let's catch up on a few of these comments really, really quickly. Andrew Boyle's in Larkhall watching. Andrew, stay tuned. Kenny Dummigan is in Larne, home of Dunnigan's accordion. Moira Moore is also in Larkhall. Stay tuned. Present boss, says Robert Lee. Jimmy Morgan is watching a Great Yarmouth. Gordon Wool, Bobby Spence. John Hochen is watching in Coatbridge. I hope I got that right. Carl says hi to all the family in Belfast and has a wee birthday request there, which I've made a note of, Carl. Alex Williams is watching. Nigel Sinton, Stephen Campbell, Ian Morrison, Davy Semple on a wet macro felt. Is there anywhere not wet other than Australia and possibly Spain? Reggie Cullen and Tilly are watching this evening. Nice of you to let Tilly watch along, Reggie. That's very kind of you. Dan Steele's watching Tommy Lloyd in Loyalist Liverpool. I have a request on for you, Tommy, tonight. Tad Adamson is in. Trevor Lennon said he's present, miss. I'm glad to see it. Elizabeth Graham, Holly Lucas, Matty Burrows in Manchester, Nigel Sinton, Alan O'Donnell, Edward Fellows. He says he's a bit late. Someone had the cheek to phone me. You just tell them, Edward, you have something more important to do. Even William Torrance says, evening all. Irvine McCabe's watching. John Hewitt in Liverpool. Fred and Linda in Carrick are enjoying a drink and watching. Lovely. Oh, I haven't got one this evening. I'm going to have to organise one. Jennifer McAllister and Craigany, Harry Walsh in Liverpool. Big Rab is watching from his truck in England. Is it not cool? Is it not cool in that truck? I have a blanket wrapped around my legs. I haven't eaten it the whole day. Mark Freeburn's watching. Caroline Hughes, Mary Guyans. Alan McGraw's watching. Alien Tucker, Jason Gibson. Stay tuned, Jason. Jim Marshall in Ayrshire. William Fenton says he needs a bit of music to warm him up. I'll get through a few more of the texts, but you are quite right, William. Nothing can heat us up more than a bit of good music. Now, we're going to go to an accordion band. I haven't just as many accordion bands on the request list tonight as I did last Friday night. We seem to have off. Not just as many tonight, you'll be glad to hear, Roy. But this was requested by Trevor McCoy. So, Trevor, I hope that you are still watching and on this evening. This is from their 60th year concert in 2018, and it is Lily of the Valley. playing there from Lily of the Valley. Alice McKellar's watching Edinburgh. Nigel is watching as well. David Sheridan, Jim Latta from Leicester. Jim Simpson, Paul Gordon, Victoria Sheridan, Ronnie Hyman, Tracy McBurham. Hiya, Tracy. Hope you're keeping well. You and Malcolm. Roy Fisher says, looking forward to tonight's show. Afternoon for him, obviously, in Southern California. And he says, by the way, it's still hot and sunny here. Just you rub that in, Roy. Why don't you? Anne Simpson's watching. Aaron Chambers wants a little bit of Up the Girt. Brian Goody says, hello, everyone. Jacqueline Bennett, Sheila Gallagher, Richard Sterrett, S.J. Han. China is in now. Stacey McLean, have you got the Waynes marching around the living room? Alan Finley wants to know. Going grey, Val. No, I'm not going grey. This is the grey in anticipation of you three Highlands the morning.
Yeah, is that a new, Valerie, is that a new band that John has started called Up the Girt?
It wasn't John.
No,
it was
just someone said they wanted a bit of Up the Girt, and I just thought I'd heard that was a new band that John had started. It was called Up the Girt.
Could very well be. Let me see. Lenny McLean is watching. Shayla says it's one day in Portrush. It absolutely does. Aaron Chambers, only at the Roots. Is it any much wonder I'm going grey? You lot giving me hassle. Stacey is marching around your living room as well. Glad to hear it, Stacey. Keep at it. If you've got a wee band stick or something, give it a twirl. Colin is watching in Glasgow. Linda McGuckin's watching in Belfast. Lynn Fitchie's in. Heidi, good to see you, Lynn. John Steele is watching from Greenock. Billy Gilmore. Ryan McGuinness is watching. Billy McGuinness is watching. Hi from Glasgow's Blue. Gary McNeil's watching in Loyalist Airdrie. Jerry Cullen in Bangor. Ken Tate's watching. Robert Morrison says a good day's march near home. I'm not sure what that means. Kenny Dummigan said that the accordion band was playing very well. Harry Walsh wants an Imperial Corps of Drums Liverpool Mass Band with the Miller Memorial. Amy Norton is back. Her phone is fixed and she's still here, sending you all love from Memphis, Tennessee. Amy, we are so glad to see you on again. Lovely to have you. And we just love the fact that you love our bands here in little old Northern Ireland, Scotland and England. We just love that fact. Now, speaking of which, Tim Webb, I hope you are watching because you requested a little clip of Portadown Defenders Owl Boys. This is them on the 13th of July, 2011, parading, I believe, in Portadown before they went to Scarva. Have a look at this. Tim, this one's for you. Not too sure what on there at the end of that clip. But that was Portadown Old Boys, and then later on the clip.
Don't know what's going on with Valerie. She's gone silent.
I just So the Neil's advert was playing, so
It's finished.
it's finished. So it was okay to carry on talking then.
You were.
I didn't want to talk over the top of it. So that was the old boys there in Portadown. Let's get through a few more of these. Thomas Taylor is full of the pipe in Lurgan. Okay. Denise Gordon loved the accordion band. She said accordions really are the best. You're right, Denise. These other lot don't know what they're talking about.
Denise, I'm going to tell all your friends in the UVF regimental that you think accordions are best.
I don't think these will be the slightest bit worried. Penny Johnson is watching, as is Hazel Gibb McMeekin from Ballysullen. Teal Sinclair is back home in Dover. Good to hear, Teal. Ivor Stewart and Macrofelt. Pipe band would make me very happy, says Amy. Amy, I am so sorry. We don't actually have a pipe band on this evening. Tonight is made up of leftover requests from last weekend. So last weekend we had a viewers request weekend. Last weekend when all the clips were chosen by yourselves, and there were so many that I had to put on another night because you couldn't get them all covered. But what we're going to do is we're going to have a viewers request weekend every month so that you can all ask for your own favourite bands.
So folks, if you haven't been played last weekend, that means you're just leftovers. So all our favourites got played the first weekend. These are just the leftovers.
That's not what I meant by that. Terrible. Martin Fitzpatrick is watching. John Dowling is watching in Lisburn. Ken, her hair is Lagan Valley hair, says China. Are you trying to say my hair's grey? It's not. It's just the roots coming through. There's no hairdressers open. There's not much I can do about it. Tommy Lloyd wants to know, Val, could you show Gringar Sissel playing outside of Anfield, please, in memory of those killed in Hillsborough? I would love to, but I do have a clip of Gringars included this evening, so hopefully that will suffice, but I wouldn't be able to find that one this evening just like that there. The shows are always set up in advance so that we try to keep it as technically smooth as possible. Doesn't always work. Now, let's see where we're going next. Tommy Chiggy Roberts, no, Jeanette Bloomer is the next request. Jeanette Bloomer asked for a little bit of Red Hand Defenders Downpatrick. So Jeanette, I hope you're watching because this is them at their own parade in 2019. Red Hand Defenders Downpatrick there, playing at their own parade back in 2019. Let's see if I can get, I've got, there are 241 unread comments as yet, so I'm trying to get through a lot of them. Paul Walters is watching in Liverpool, Sam Dixon, and the doggies are watching in a sunny Lima Vegas. Lindsay Allen wants me to play Donovan Isle Boys for Steve Allen, who is 25 on Saturday. Unfortunately, I can't, but I will absolutely make a note of his birthday. Are you sure it's only 25? Sure he's not older than that? Or has he just had a hard paper round, huh? Now, Raymond Whitehead is watching from Loyalist Knightswood. Sandra Tannell's watching. Martin Fitzpatrick in Newry. Trevor Moppet wants a pipe band, please. Unfortunately, we don't have a pipe band on the list this evening because I'm doing all the requests that we didn't get covered last week. I can't use the word leftovers because then Roy will make it sound terrible. William Mark Gibson is watching. Hiya. Hope you saw Carmine last week when we played them. Did you? Hope you did. Adrian says he thinks Man United will win on Sunday. Adrian, keep you taking the tablets, dear, and stay off the alcohol.
So hang on. So who's sitting top of the league at the minute on the same number of games played?
Wow. Once in how long?
Since 2018.
The
same number of games played, and you won it once in how many years?
Oh my goodness!
Another one of these joined the Blackburn and Leicester.
Oh my goodness, you get to it once, you can't listen to you. The altitude, the height will go for you. What you see? John Steele says, hi to all my friends in Portland. Robert Alexander Irvine is churning in from a Fryland in the Hill. Can you play Leganani accordion band? We played them last week, Robert. Where were you? Billy Colgan's watching. He says, can you say a big hiya to the brothers from Glengormley Purple Star, LOL 1551. Welcome to you all. Keep safe and looking forward to when we can gather again. Eddie says there's some clatter of Isle Boys in Portadown. I actually love the clip of them with the old boys and the current band get together. It's humongous, absolutely humongous. Keith McCormick, are you watching? Wants to know Ronnie Hindman. William Smith says they were brilliant that day. Jennifer Ferris is watching in Donegal D. Robert Goldsmith thoroughly enjoyed them. Eddie wants to know, can you silence her tomorrow night, Roy? James Shank says, hi, missed you guys. He's watching in Manchester. Billy McHugh says, what about the White Rock? Raymond Whitehead wants to know, am I on the bevy tonight? I only wish. Tomorrow night, I definitely will be. Your man talks like Daniel O'Donnell, Lenny says. Who? Who talks like Daniel O'Donnell? Roy? You think Roy talks like Daniel O'Donnell?
Oh, no. You're talking like Daniel O'Donnell. Be talking in a soft voice. I might have no personality like Daniel O'Donnell, but I don't think I actually sound like him now.
It wasn't too bad, I have to say. Just a wee bit slower and you'd have got it. Peter Davidson wants some Craigie Warren. Billy McHugh wants the Costa Blanca Defenders. Ivan Linton is watching in Tobermoor. Ivan says you missed the best bit, the whole of the band together. Well, I purposely didn't want to do that, Ivan, so watch and you will find out why. Jordan Houston says, anyone ever heard Blanket on the Ground played by a band? Been looking for it for years. Yes, and we've actually had it on the programme, Jordan, as well. Robert Irvine is watching Get Stanley Rockin'. Was it Stanley on the bass there for Red Hand Defenders for Downpatrick? I forgot to take a look. Brian says, I'm probably going grey because of what's in front of you tomorrow night. You are right. Totally right. Scott Clark says one of the most, if not the most restricted parades in the country. Can't even walk into their own town where I was actually born and went to school. I think Sharp might give that one give them a little run for their money.
I think Dunloy's would actually give it even a more run for the money. They're allowed 55 steps is all they're allowed to parade in Dunloy.
I know, isn't it ridiculous? Ridiculous. Jenna Olive Madole is watching Shanklin Proddy Boys, please, she said. China is rating to treble tomorrow. I have no idea what that means. Jim Jambar is watching in Lisburn. Danny Pat, could we get a clip of East Belfast Protestant Boys? Well, Danny, I would say that if you tune in tomorrow night when the programme is being presented by our guests, Mr. China, Mr. Torney, and Mr. Stephen Miller. Oh, his last name's not Miller.
Really?
Stephen what? What'd you say?
Feely.
Stephen Feely. I knew it was Stephen Feely. I thought you said something else. They are going to be guest presenting the programme tomorrow night. So I have this odd feeling that you might see East Belfast, you might see Miller Memorial, and you might see Ballyhalbert. Could be wrong, but I'd say...
All I can say is after spending a bit of time with them this week, I am actually looking forward to tomorrow night. After getting them set up for the cameras and everything else, I am actually looking forward to tomorrow night.
Yeah, because fine rightly they'll give me grief and let you off the hook. Now, Tommy Cheeky Robertson, I very nearly announced you the last time. You had asked for Allenton Corps of Drums playing Norrie MacLeod. Now, I do apologise, but I haven't a clue what Nori McLeod as a tune sounds like. And the problem is that flip bands tend to have this habit of renaming tunes. So even though I maybe know it as The Sash, well, maybe not, that's a really bad example. So I would maybe know it as Our Director or something like that there, and then flip bands would rename it as something else. So therefore it becomes almost impossible to find. And unless the name of the tune is on the video clip, it's really, really hard to find. So I do apologize, but I have found you a good clip of Allenton Corps of Drums. This is them playing at Bargeddie Thistles competition in 2013. So Tommy, hope you enjoy it. This one is for you. Really great playing there from Allenton. Now, where are we going to go next? Let's have a few more of these text messages. I'm trying frantically, and I do apologise if I've missed everything. Michael Cosby is watching from Loyalist Ardoyne. Jim Shanks says, wow, you're a Liverpool fan. Bye. Whatever you like. Oh, my goodness. Oh, Scott's on about Man United. Oh, dear. Ashley Carey is hoping for some best True Blues. He wants to see his daddy on parade. Oh, maybe try and get them on next weekend. How's that? Ian McIntyre is watching. Danny Pants listening in Bangor. Tommy McDowell is
wishing. You won't be able to get them on next weekend.
Sorry?
You won't be able to get them on next weekend.
Oh, no, because it's not even my choices.
No.
I get them the next time I'm choosing, okay? Tom McDowell wishes Paul Miller a speedy recovery from First Belfast Rangers. I'm just making a wee note of that, so don't forget. Billy McHugh is listening from Anfield. Good. I am glad someone has sense. John Dowling says, I will need a drink for tomorrow night. I sure will. Definitely will. Three Muppets are definitely on tomorrow night. We just call them the Three Muskehounds, Lenny, because it's just crazy. Kenneth McClure wants maybe the POLV, Pride of Lagan Valley. I've seen the list. That's all I can say. Oh my goodness. Honey, I'm home, says Brian Emerson. Brian, you've been very quiet this past while. Where have you been? John Blaney is, Robert Dundee is watching. Davy Logan says, excellent parading. Davy Pat says, hopefully there'll be parades this year. To be quite honest, I can't see it. I can't see there being any big parades. It's not even so much the parade, and the crowds are there, obviously, but it's the getting there. Everybody has to take buses. So they do. So I can't see it. Now, Mark Anderson, I hope you're watching. You had requested a little bit of Lambeg drums. Now, I know there are quite a few enjoy the Lambeg drums, so really, really happy to put this clip in. This is taking place in Larne Market Yard way back in 2015. And in case you're wondering about the carpets underneath, it's not just for their comfort or anything like that. It's to do with the acoustics of the drums. It's to bounce the sound back up again from the drums, because when we were getting the band sorted in Ulster Hall for playing, we got carpet tiles and got them all set below the drums to help with the acoustics. See the things you learn on this show, huh? China says, Valerie, you promised me last year we would have 3 parades. We'd have parades 3 times a week this year. Is your finger not on the pulse, girl? I've said for a long time. I didn't think we would have many parades this year neither. They said way back in November or September, October, November time, right? They said that restrictions would still be in place for another 6 to 9 months. Well, 6 months took them to the end of March. 9 months took them to the end of April, I think it was. 9 months took them to the end of May. End of June. So when you think about it, like our 100th centenary is in May, and we'll be finishing restrictions in April. So the chances of those happening are few and far between. And when we get to the end of June, obviously 1st of July, 12th of July. And I mean, being realistic, I can't see us having mass gatherings in July or even August, unfortunately, because my favorite parade is always in August. But I've seen people saying about it's a conspiracy. It's a conspiracy. Yes, this was all done just to stop marching bands. Of course it was. Of course it wasn't. Look, we will get through it. We are made of sturdier stuff. Deirdre Steele says, evening all from Macrofelt and Desert Martin. William Scallon is in Portrush. Hiya, William. Needs the bus out another inch or two, says Trevor on those lambegs. Could very well do. You're not talking to someone educated in those. John Marshall is listening from Motherwell. Stuart E. Heyman says that China is a wild wee man. You are right. Totally right. Stephen says you have to compliment people tomorrow night, John. Does China know how to do that? I don't think he knows how to do that at all. Eddie McMillan is watching. Billy Gibson wants anything from Oma Protestant Boys around 2010. William Scallon says, happy 30th birthday to Stephen Allen. Now, there's somebody's lying because Lindsay said he was 25 and you're saying he's 30. Is he getting older as the show goes on? Will he end up 50 before we get to the birthdays? I do not know. Robert Alexander Irvine says, I've got a voice for the radio. You're really lucky because when I first read that, I thought you said a face for the radio. And I was going to start on you, Robert. I was. Danny Pat wants to know what time tomorrow night's show is. We're here every Friday and Saturday night at 8 o'clock. Perhaps after tomorrow night, I might be in Purdysburn or Tober-Naveen or somewhere like that there. But Ian McPhee is listening to Corby, England, or listening from Corby. Josie Horner is watching, as is Robert Dundee and Raymond Whitehead. Robert Taylor says, get one of our Reggie Cullen, best bass drummer ever to come out of Southdown. Come on, the UYL. Now, Jacqueline Bennett had put a request in for last week and she had asked for a couple of bands. So we put one of the bands on last week and we're going to put the second one on tonight. So Jacqueline, I hope you are watching. This is Ballygowan Flip Band playing at the entertainment contest held by the Flip Band Association in the Queen's Hall, Newton Arts in 2019. I think you might just enjoy this wee one. superb performance there. I have to say, it wouldn't be one of my favourite tunes, especially slow airs and melodies like that
I'm
there. But
actually
it was,
quite glad they started clapping at the end of that, or I maybe wouldn't have woke up.
see, it ticks all sorts, doesn't it? Like, it's not my favorite tune, but I can really appreciate the musicality behind it. Some people are absolutely loving it, really, really enjoying it. Other people think it's boring, and it just, that's what's so wonderful about our culture and our bands,
I
is that there's something for every taste.
I do like the music, but it reminds me of sitting in church on a Sunday, nearly falling asleep anyway. And if I was going to listen to that,
Don't lie, you've never been to
I
church,
used to
my
be a Sunday
goodness, you're
school
telling
teacher.
right off
I'll
if you
have you
went
know, I used to be a Sunday school teacher, Valerie. But
no,
no, I
no.
used to be going back when I was
Ah,
17. But I would listen to that type of music last thing at night whenever I'm wanting to go to sleep, and that would gently put you off to sleep nicely.
it's technically it can be some of the most difficult music to play, especially keeping large ensembles together. And I have to say, I love the sound of the bass flutes that they have now. There's probably more more flutey name for them, but the big ones giving them that deep sound. It's something that I always thought that flute bands of that type were missing, that nice deep sound. They're nowhere near the deep brass, however. Can't beat it just yet. Now, Stephen McKinney, I'm glad to see you're in, although you were late this evening, Stephen. That is just, tut tut. This is Ballymaconley Sons of Congers, who you'd requested. This is them playing at Crown Defenders 2019. I actually struggled to find a clip of them that I hadn't played before. They probably don't do as many parades as they would like to, or would like to be seen at, or people would like to see them at. But this is them at Crown Defenders Parade in 2018. Ballymaconley there. Small band out that night. I actually had got a great clip of them finishing their parade in Reshargan. The problem is that the crowd and the clapping and the cheers of them are so loud that you can't hear the band very well, but it's still a great clip. Harry is watching in Glasgow. Harry MacArthur, delighted you could join us, Harry. You're a little bit late tonight. What's going on? What's going on? Some people agreeing about the Ballygowan, some people disagreeing. Look, that is what makes us a diverse and wonderful culture. The fact that there is something to please everybody. But it doesn't mean that we can give each other abuse. Like, we don't fall out over the heads of it. Just because Roy doesn't like accordions, I'm not going to fall out with him. Might be tempted, but I'm not going to do it.
Darn, so my plan didn't work.
Afraid not. Ian McAvanna says that Ballymaconley are a very underrated and great outfit. They are very underrated indeed. Albert Harkness was late too. Albert, you and Stephen and Harry can have detention and lines because you were late. How dare you? China wants to know, is that a small version of Drumahegels? Oh my goodness. That's not nice at all. It's on Billy Yates. It's actually on a Friday and Saturday night at 8 p.m, not 7 p.m. So, yes, we hope you enjoy it, however. That's the main thing. Now, Jockey Hamilton had sent me a great clip of Gringar Sissel playing in George Square in 2012. The problem was the clip was taken from the front of the band right beside the drums, so it made it very difficult to hear the flutes. But I find another few clips. To be honest, I've never heard a bad clip of them yet. But this is them. I think it's an indoor was the one I ended up like, I couldn't decide between 3 or 4, to be honest, so I can't remember now which one I picked. So, it's an indoor. I knew it was an indoor. So this is for you, Jockey. Apologies I couldn't play your own one, but this is still a great clip of them. They certainly weren't helped by the acoustics in that hall, but still sounding really, really well. I honestly have not heard a bad clip of Gringars. They're one of my favourite bands. They really are. Joan McGraw is watching Evening. Joan Raymond Whitehead wants to know any Partick Protestant boys. Stay tuned, Raymond. It was you had requested that last weekend, and we weren't able to fit it in. So guess what's on tonight? Mark Officer says, good evening to you all. Evening, Officer. I bet you're sick of that, aren't you? It's like whenever people hear my name is Valerie, I get Amy Winehouse sang at me. Brilliant drum corps from Ballymaconnelly, says Stephen, never misses their parade. They are absolutely super. Brian Emerson says, hard to believe it was Remembrance Day 2019 since Ballyrea was on parade. It is so hard to believe. So hard to believe. It is... trying to remember when I did my last Orange parade. Would have been July 2019. So even less than that. It's ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. It's who else missing it? Are you missing it? I'm missing it. I've seen people writing about that they worry that people will fall away from bands and fall away from their lodges and all that kind of stuff with not being able to parade. But I think it's actually going to have the opposite effect, because I think the first band parade that is actually held that people can go to in normal numbers is going to be massive chaos, absolute massive. Now,
And or an idea. The very first band parade that's allowed numbers, so you're talking maybe 200. Pick somewhere central for all the bands to go. Have buckets the whole way around the parade, and all the bands that attend, then all the money raised gets split between the bands, because the bands have had no money now for over a year.
Difficulty is, where would you have it?
Somewhere like well, you could have it in Ballymena, for instance, going from the showground. No, just set for instance, Ballymena is quite central in County Antrim. Even if you had it in each county, but you could go from the showgrounds in Ballymena up to Ballyplainfield. That's a good parade route. You could have it. You could have one then in up round Coleraine Way for up round your way. You could have one just out. Well, one in Belfast. You could have one down in Enniskillen. One down in Kilkeel.
There you go, Roy. We job for you. Get you organising. Get you sorting it.
But then, because people are going to, if someone like Downshires, who's prayed in September, if they manage to have theirs and they got a flock down, it's going to be slightly unfair. And I don't think I don't think Banbridge could hold it if 200 bands turned up. It'd be a logistics nightmare and everything else. So just to think there's somewhere like Ballymena where bands could come in off the motorway and then go out the other way.
It's definitely a thought. China needs all the money for his roof, apparently. Apparently, China needs all the money for his roof.
Poor China had a flood in the shop. He had a flood, so he's lost a lot of stock as well.
Have you? Seriously, China?
Don't know if he's lost a lot of stock, but he had a flood. He had a flood in the shop, and the roof fell in.
Lots of comments going on. Lots of people thinking that's a great idea, Roy. So you're the man to sort it. Definitely are. David McGinnish says, can I just say thank you for the great comments from last week's Green Guards Thistle video. Oh, Davey is, of course, the bass drummer in my favourite clip of all time. Davey, I just love it. I must have watched it a million times, and I could still watch it. It's been played so many times in this, and it will probably be played so many times more until we no longer have to do this. Robert Goldsmith says the parades might last 2 nights. You are right. Let's just say it'll be one big party, that's for sure. Jaggy is missing it, and he says, don't worry, Val. China says, don't worry, Val, the Orange don't miss you. Of course they do. Dedicated. James McGreekin says, first time listening to this show, great advert for the PUL. China's going to sponsor us. That's good. That's good. March from Kilkeel to Portrush, says Joy. Now you're coming up with all the ideas. Now there you go, Roy. Sponsored walk from Kilkeel to Portrush. What about doing it for the nurses for a good night out after all they have been through, says Brian Goody. Never know. Now, William Fenton, I hope you are watching, and I also hope my daddy is watching. This is my band. This is just What do you mean you've rubbed clip on? That's sabotage, Roy McPeak, because I know that you're not overly enamored of this. I know. That's not a mistake at all. This is my childhood band. This is the band that I grew up listening to. This is the band that I still love to listen to. And this is the band that still makes me get butterflies in my stomach whenever I see them. It is, of course, Balrasheen Flute Band. This is for William Fenton and my daddy. So, Mummy, I hope you have got them watching. This is them in 2016 at a parade in Ballymoney. It just gets you coming to the top of Main Street, and then they're stopping there because obviously there's further on stops down the road, but they're playing to entertain the crowd. Have a listen.
darkness, my old friend, I've come to talk with you again, because a vision softly creeping left its seeds while I was sleeping, and the vision that was planted in my brain still remains within the sound of silence. And in the naked light I saw 10,000 people, maybe more, and touched the sound of silence.
We advert that Roy put together for Light of Foot. The one thing I can say, you're not allowed to say anything bad about Ballyrashane, okay? Or you are definitely going to be in the black book. So just you keep your mic muted, Mr. McPeak. You're right, Joy. It is absolutely the drumming that makes them. They are just fantastic. China was actually asking how would you describe a band like this. I call them the traditional because they're, I'm not exactly sure. There's a kind of debate over how old they are. The band would say that they're definitely over 110 years old. The band have a sort of like a date of them, and then we found older clippings as well, which means they might even be older again, but they're at least 110 years old, maybe older than that. And this is the same music that they're playing now as they were playing then, which I think is just that whole link through. And you think about it, 110 years ago, we were United Ireland as part of the UK, as part of Great Britain. So, you know, they were a band and playing that music before there was even a partition, even in Northern Ireland. So I love that whole link. I love that whole link. Now, William. Does that band not realize every note should on its own with long runs? Spit the notes out, as I've done that when I was in the army. I'd been guard duty stuff. William, every band has different styles. One band you're not allowed to say anything bad about, okay? Definitely not. Alan Booth says he loves it. He's got his own black book. I'd be the same, William. Traditional is what I would call them. Now, says, how do we call them traditional and white rock style? Just curious. Well, I mean, you look at those guys. There's like White Rock and Netherton Road and County and all those guys who are style. But then you have Ballyrashane and Curran who are a different style. And I would class Ballyrashane and Curran in the same, because Ballyrashane used to have the skeleton drums, whereas I wouldn't consider them the same type of style as White Rock and those guys. But then again, when you look at your Blood and Thunder as well, you've got like the East Belfast, and you've got the Drumahegels, two different styles inside Blood and Thunder, and it's brilliant. It is brilliant. You just cannot beat the ingenuity that we have in our scene. Absolutely not. Now, speaking of ingenuity, Lisa has got our quiz for us this week. So what we're going to do is our quiz. 5 tunes. 5. Sorry, Roy. I was trying to mime it to you during the last one to do the advert for Light of Foot, and then also to to do the quiz then, because we usually do it about 9. So 5 different clips of 5 different bands. Lisa will give you 4 bands to choose from, and the clip playing will absolutely be one of those bands. So this week it is accordions. So have we got our clip ready to go, Roy? Take it. Write these down. So this could be a tough one, actually. I don't know how you're going to go. Stuart wants to know, is these Belfast Protestant Boys a melody band? No. You're opening a whole can of worms there, Stuart. Definitely are. Scott's going to be back in 5 minutes. Scott, you're a chicken. Do you mean to say you wouldn't be able to name 5 accordion bands? My goodness. Right, we good to go, Roy? Here is clip number 1. You'll see the names of the 4 bands. It is one of the bands on the list. So 4 choices there: Mulla Brack, Leganani, Maeve Cullen, or Ardara. It was one of those bands. So what you want to do is put in the comments clip number 1, or just the letter 1, number 1, and then tell me whether you think it's A, B, C, or D. A, Mulla Brack, B, Leganani, C, Maeve Cullen, and D is Ardara. So here's clip number 2. So you had 4 choices that time for clip number 2. They were A, Pride of the Birches, B, Edgarstown, C, Brunswick, or D, Ochnagurigan. Let's go with clip number 3, please, Roy. Very interesting. Clip number 3. It could be A, The Vow, B, Dunloy, C, Killycoogan, or D, Staffordstown. I have this odd feeling there's a few people going to get a shock. Let's go with clip number 4. Choice of 4 there: A, Lispelaw, B, drum accordion, and C, barn accordion. So that was clip number 4. And our final clip, please, Roy. So that was your final clip, clip number 5. It was either Harbour Star accordion, Parkinson, Albert Bridge, or Corbett accordion. Now, rather than play them all through again, I thought I would just give the answers this time, Roy, rather than go through all the clips again, okay? So, are you all ready for the answers? All the answers to clip number 5 in? And I'll tell you all whether you were right or wrong. So, clip 1 was actually band C, Maeve McCullen accordion. So give yourself a point if you got band C, Maeve McCullen. Band number 2 was actually B, Edgarstown. So if you chose band B, Edgarstown, give yourself a point. Number 3 was actually band A, Vow accordion. Yeah, you got it right the second time. Band number 4 was band D, Ballinamallard accordion. And band number 5 was A, Harbour Star accordion. So the answers were C, Maeve McCullen, B, Edgarstown, A, Vow, D, Ballinamallard, and A, Harbour Star. So let us know how you did there out of 5. And in the meantime, we're going to play the next clip while you tell me how all you did. I'm afraid to say it is an accordion. China, you asked for this band last week. You asked for a little bit of Lord Carson Memorial Accordion Band. So here they are at the Festival of Marching Bands in 2015. Little bit of Lord Carson there. Now, Andrew Slavin, I hope you're watching. I haven't seen your name coming up there. Let's see how the, before we just play the next clip, let's see how the scores were going. I don't think I noticed anybody getting 5 out of 5. Rebecca Gardner, I think, was the highest, 4 out of 5. Roy Fisher got 2 out of 2, and he was 100% certain it was Deloy, and he ended up 2 out of 5. 4 out of 5, yeah. David McMillan, 2 out of 5. Chloe McMullen, 3 out of 5. Jackie Mullen, 0. Jackie. Diane Steele, 0. Lindsay Dunbar, 2 out of 5. Ryan Goody, 2 out of 5. Will Mullen, 1. Trevor Malkin, 2 out of 5. Ray got 4. Well done, Ray. Billy McHugh got 2. Joy Cullen got 1. Eddie, 1 out of 5. Do you get anything for consistency? He says you're doing well. 1 out of 5 every week, Ellie. Helen Thompson says hi to everyone. Keith McInerney got 4 out of 5. Well done. Joe McGraw got 1 out of 5. Muriel got 2 out of 5. And William got 1 out of 5. Gavin Hassel got 4 out of 5 as well. Well done. Well done. Harry got a 0. Now, let's see. Yes, where are we going to next? So, Andrew Slavin, you had asked for a little bit of the Imperial Blues Paisley. This is them on the Ormeau Road in Belfast in 2013. Hope you enjoy it. That was the Imperial Blues from Paisley. Well, Mullins asking what the name of that piece is. You're a bad one, Mullen. You are absolutely a bad one. Now, let's go to, this is a clip that was requested by Gary David Henderson and Adam Livingston. Adam, I was actually surprised at this one, but then I thought about it and I thought, no, that strikes me as something that Adam would request. This is Edgarstown Accordion Band. Now, I think the name of this is something Soldier. It's Tin Soldier or something like that there. I can't remember exactly what it is, but have a wee listen to this. Absolutely superb playing. Really, really happy with this wee clip. So I am. Super there. I really liked that march. Ray Pass Band, which is correct. Thank you for that, Adam. It's very, very similar to another. Is it the Tin Soldier or the something Soldier or something like that? There needed a little bit more bass in the trio, so you could hear the harmonies coming through there. But other than that, it was a really, really good performance. Absolutely brilliant. Now, I promise there are only 2 accordion bands left this evening, so no panicking, okay? The rest are all flute. Now, the next ones, Alan O'Donnell, you had asked for these. This is Larkhall Purple Heroes, played in their own parade in 2017. Great there from Larkhall Purple Heroes. Now, during the week, Billy McMenemy had contacted me and says, Valerie, could you play a little bit of Cookstown Sons of William? And he named a particular tune from a concert in the Ulster Hall. And he says he's looked for ages and he can't find any clips of it. And I says, I've looked for that one too. It was the first Festival of Marching Bands concert, and I couldn't find any clips and still haven't been able to find any clips. He says, oh, well, then anyone from that night will do. Like, you know, if they're going to put one clip on, they would have put the whole lot on. So looked again and still couldn't find it. Now, what I did find was another cracking clip of it. The video's not great quality because it's taken obviously from the back of the concert hall, but it's still great fluting nonetheless. This is Cookstown Sons of William. I believe it's their own concert that they hold up there in the Burnavon Centre in Cookstown, and they're playing a little tune called Itchy Fingers. hopefully you were happy enough with my alternative choice, Billy. Now, over to a different part of the province completely. This Gary Dallas was requested for by yourself. This is Ulster Grenadiers playing last year on one of the very few days bands managed to get out, Derry Day in 2020. Very few we could say that with, isn't it? Great there from Ulster Grenadiers. Now, Scott Clark and Jason Gibson, I believe last weekend you two guys gave me a little bit of grief, didn't you? You absolutely did. So to stop any grief this week, we have included a little bit of Oma Protestant Boys, and this is them at the Shankill Road Defenders Melody Contest in 2015.
Is this the leftovers? Is this the forgotten few, the leftovers that got missed off?
It's the ones that we couldn't fit in. Okay. This is those magnificent men in their flying machines. Sorry, I'm getting pawed and clawed at here by two terrors. Two absolute terrors. Right, you two get down. Now, down you go. Down you go. Where are we going to go next? Yes, we need to go back to a little bit of the accordions, I'm afraid. This was requested by Mark Anderson, and it's a little bit of Ballyronan accordion. Now, Eleanor Gibson, I was getting the screen back up again to unmute myself. Now, Eleanor Gibson and Vicky Hazlitt, I hope you are both watching at the moment because you both requested a little clip of Ballygowan True Blues. This is them in 2018 at the Upper Falls Protestant Boys Parade. Have a listen to this. The three Musca Hounds are looking for the birthdays because that's when they're sure to appear. So I have an idea, guys. Tomorrow night, instead of playing the clip, why don't you just sing live? You could sing Happy Birthday live. We'll have to think about that one before tomorrow night. Now, Helen Thompson, I did see your name coming up in comments earlier on. I hope you're still watching. You're still there, Helen, I hope. You had asked for a little bit of Sergeant Lindsay Mooney. This is them. I believe it's one of the Easter Monday parades. I got another clip of them from Easter Monday. That's actually them at the opening of I think it's the Auntie Terry Centre in Belfast. I can't remember the year, however. Now, Bill McDonald, you're still on, I hope. Good. Helen, you're still here. Bill McDonald, you had asked for a little bit of Ravenhill Temperance Flute Band. I found a cracking clip of them from 1994 on actually Will Mullins' channels there, the Fifer Cave. And this is them playing that wonderful march, Wellington. Ken Stewart, you should enjoy this one as well. Great march, really well played there by Ravenhill Temperance. Now, earlier on, we played a little clip of Portadown Defenders. And the reason that I didn't play the Isle Boys, and the reason I didn't play the clip of the two of them combined, is because I knew I had this clip coming up. Jordan Winton sent this clip for me to play, and this is them in 2020 at their own, or what should have been their own parade. I have to admit that partially through that clip, I just tuned out the band completely and spent my whole time watching the guy in the colour party trying to get back in step. He took forever. I don't know whether he was waiting in the rest of the colour party, changing step with him or what. I don't know, but he took forever and still ended up out of step. Now, the next band are very active, I'm pleased to say. They are still on the road. They've never been off the road, despite some vicious rumours. This is Lisburn Young Defenders. And again, a clip from them this year. Or, well, not this year, 2020. This is them on the 13th of July. And it is, of course, Lesbian Young Flanders, otherwise known as Lisburn Young Defenders.
That's 2 clips in a row that I'll be in. Yay!
Superb arrangements there of Orange Melodies from Lisburn Young Defenders. Now, birthday time. 3 Muskehounds are up. So from Carl McNaull, she'd like to wish a happy birthday to her great niece, Ruby. So Ruby, happy birthday to you. Stephen Allen, although we're not 100% certain what age he is, he's either 24, 25 or 30, and that comes from Lindsay and William Scallion. And also quite a few people putting on comments there, wishes to Richard McDonald for his birthday yesterday, and also his wife Michelle for her birthday. We believe it was the 2nd of January, so we should have got that in last week. So happy birthday to the members of the Relentless team there, because Michelle takes all the photographs and Richard does all the videos. So happy birthday to everyone, and hope you have a wonderful day. And of course, here you're serenaded by the 3 Muskehounds.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday from the Forum. Happy birthday to you.
And if you want to see more of the three boyos, make sure that you tune in tomorrow night from 8. It could be rough. So, Tommy Lloyd, you had requested any band from Liverpool you asked for. So I did look at a couple and I eventually landed on this one. This is Heroes of the Soul, playing at the Branwell Parade in 2019. Eddie says somebody needs to chip in to get the cymbal player uniform. Tell me this. Are you guys going to be as brave tomorrow night, making all these smart comments as you are in front of the camera, as you are on the keyboard? It will be interesting to see, won't it, Roy?
It definitely will be.
Sorry, dear? What did you say?
It definitely will be.
I think they'll be quiet as we church mice. Definitely do. What do you want me to find out? Tune in tomorrow night at 8 o'clock. So, last accordion band of the evening. We've only got 3 more bands to go after this one, so 4 in total. This is the Voy Accordion Band at their own parade in 2019, as requested by Stephen McKinney. Played really, really well there by the Vow accordion. Now, look, McCall, I hope you're watching, because you had asked what time were Black Skull Orange and Blue on at last weekend. And of course, we actually had Black Skull Core Fifes and Drums, but we did include them tonight for you. This is them at Clockwork Parade in 2019. That was Black Skull Orange and Blue there. Victoria Sheridan, I was just thinking earlier on, you and Dave have been very quiet tonight. Very quiet. Now, just looking through. Annabelle Kinnear, saw your message there. And let's just say there were certain bands that I would have included tonight, but I've seen the list for tomorrow night. That's all I'm saying, okay? That's as far as I'll go. Now, our penultimate band, our band before last, requested by Stephen McKinney. This is Donna Money at their own parade in 2018. Super angle here by Neil on the clip. Great angle of them there coming down the hill in Matherfeld, obviously. Now, Raymond Whitehead, you get last band this evening, the last of our 3 nights of viewers' requests. You had requested a little bit of Partick Protestant Boys. This is them playing at the Black Preceptory Parade in 2019. And just before we play this clip, I'd like to thank you all for joining in with us here this evening. It may be my last show because I don't know whether I will still be sane after tomorrow night, but there's only one way I could keep sane, and is that if you guys join me and give me a little bit of sensible conversation, of nothing else. Tomorrow night we do have the 3 Muskehounds guest presenting. It could be a lot of fun. In the meantime, keep the flutes to the moose because we're coming to the tin. Night all. See you tomorrow.
darkness, my old friend. I've come to talk with you again, because a vision softly creeping left its seeds while I was sleeping, and the vision that was planted in my brain still remains within the sound of silence. And in the naked light I saw 10,000 people, maybe more, and touched the sound of silence.
It was when England's glorious sun in 1688 was overcast with treason's cloud and popery's too late, that up arose her Protestants, the peasant and the peer, and vowed the chain of perjure James that they would not dainty wear. They sought them out a prudent chief to guide their heart and zeal, to lead them on that victory might bless their flashing steel. And who so fit to guide that host in all its bright array as William, Prince of Orange, ere he landed at Torbay? Then up arose the mighty chief and left his native shore, and rode upon the stormy waves our freedom to restore. Upon his flag was blazoned forth, high fluttering o'er the main, that our religion and our laws he ever would maintain. 'Twas then in gallant style he stood upon the vessel's prow, with victory on his flashing sword and wisdom on his brow. And tens of thousands greeted him upon his natal day, when he, our glorious Orange chief, first landed at Torbay. Come, brethren of the Orange bond, a bond ne'er to be riven. Whene'er we give great William's name, a bumper must be given. For if you'd fire a feu de joie to him who victory won, come prime and load and see you get charge into your gun. The eloquence of bumpers full, there's nothing can surpass. There's naught expresses kindred soul like friendship's social glass. And thus we give our song and toast with 3 times 3 huzzah, the memory of King William and his landing at Torbay. The memory of King William and his landing at Torbay.